This is a look at some of the plays where DeSean Jackson was on the field for the Ravens in Monday Night Football. The Ravens 27-13 win down in New Orleans. DeSean Jackson apparently only played like 11 or 13 snaps. It seemed like a little more. Maybe when he was on the field, they were trying to throw the ball more. I'm not sure what the run-pass ratio is or was on the 11 or 12, 13 plays he was on the field. To be honest with you, I thought he looked effective. You'll see 2 catches in this video. I think there's going to be 8 plays. I'm going to show the really ridiculous, 2 really ridiculous plays that Lamar had or throws that he had to DeSean Jackson. To me, it seems like he's very comfortable throwing the ball to the guy. For being someone that we just picked up, he's 36 years old. You can denigrate the guy and his age all you want, and the fact that he didn't finish the game. It sounds to me, I think it was T. Martin admitted that basically he would have stayed in the game if it wasn't a situation where we're running the ball so well. That's summarized from what someone else told me. I don't watch the press conferences. I wish I had time to, but I just don't. I barely have time to sit down and make content sometimes, in the evening. So this one's going to be 7 plays actually, from the Monday Night Football game, talking about DeSean Jackson. And then we're going to compare one of the plays to a really popular or well-known play that occurred against the Bengals at home. All right, so DeSean Jackson is up down at the bottom. It's going to be a snag concept against man, not open here. Second play of the game. There's nothing really to this in terms of concepts that make him available. But the one thing I will say is once he recognizes he's not open on the first part of it, he goes ahead and tries to find some space to the sideline. He knows where that space should be. It's just, like I said, second play of the game. To this point, Tyrann Mathieu has 2 tackles already because he made the tackle on the first play of the game on a run concept. All right, later on in the game, up at the top, I don't think he's targeted on this one, but he's open. You can see he's taking this vertical. And then interesting, he shoots his arm up in the air. I'm not sure what that is, or maybe he's just trying to gather himself to put his foot down and come back. But he's definitely open were that ball to be thrown earlier. I'm not sure whether it was tipped or whatever the situation was, but you'll see he still has some speed, and he still threatens these guys. I mean, he's carried that guy, got beyond him already. Now, there's safety help here, and DeSean Jackson's certainly aware of it. All he's trying to do is push this route off enough to where he can snap back down here, and he does so, making himself available. The ball, really, to be honest with you, if Lamar was going to throw it to DeSean Jackson, it should have been thrown already. Now, Lamar, in terms of trying to make a read, is trying to figure out what this safety is going to do. And to me, that safety is Tyrann Mathieu, a guy who has made plays against the Ravens before. So it's entirely possible that Lamar was like, I'm not going to mess with him until I understand that he's not going to commit himself. I think there is a level of this where we would like to see Lamar throw the ball, but we come back to this play later, and he delivers it on time, and it's a great catch to DeSean Jackson, the only official catch that he actually had. So there's something to be said for that in terms of Lamar and our coaches coming back to it, recognizing that DeSean Jackson was actually open, and we need to get him the ball if we want a 16, 18, 20-yard game. Here's the play I'm talking about. Under center, 1 back. It's going to be play action. There's a pretty big tendency for that. If you've never heard me talk about it, you're going to get a clear-out route by Devin Duvernay that's going to occupy this safety, kind of the reverse of what people would have suspected would occur with DeSean Jackson. You would think he'd be the guy running the clear-out route, and Duvernay or someone else would be the guy running onto that open space. Same route. It's actually a little deeper than the arrows I have drawn there, but I only have so much screen I can't zoom out in this view. But you can see Lamar throws it as DeSean Jackson is breaking his route off. You can see here he is. So they probably talked about this, Lamar, DeSean, the coaches, and he's able to make the catch coming back to the football. I mean, it looks like he can still do this. Is it 6 times a game, 4 times a game, 2 times a game? I'm not sure. All right, but he clearly looks like he can still get himself open against man coverage. This is the unbelievable throw by Lamar where we get a fumble that Moses runs into him. During my reaction video Monday night, I neglected to recall that Morgan Moses essentially forced the fumble here on Lamar. Now, this is DeSean Jackson breaking this out here. And, there is no way to say anything negative about Lamar's throw. There's just not. Fading to his right, 2 people closing on him. It's a great play by this DB, all right? You can't say anything negative about the throw. However, having said that, DeSean Jackson is clear on him, but we would be very unrealistic and have really no knowledge of how things actually work, the human body works trying to throw the football, if we said, hey, Lamar's got to get it to him in stride. Down here at the bottom side of the screen, I'm going to rewind this multiple times. You can see DeSean Jackson's working on this corner and then hedges inside, breaks his posture for a moment. Now it's a young man, it's a rookie going against a 36-year-old guy. So he breaks his posture, but then the kid's able to recover. But were it not for, this second level defender, and, obviously Lamar being run into by his right tackle down here, the ball's available to be thrown somewhere in this direction, leading DeSean Jackson out there. But we had more pressure early in the game, it seemed like, in terms of pressure that was being put on Lamar. Unbelievable body control, unique throw, just unique trust in actually even attempting to make the throw. And then a great play. I think it was Alontae Taylor. I think he's from Tennessee. Rookie, corner. Played in the SEC, if I'm remembering the right guy, if that is the right guy. And that was a great play there. Continuing to compete until the end of the play. Give DeSean Jackson credit, however, for finding the space. This looks like a real CF here. We did pass off this rusher, I think, pretty well between Zeitler and Moses. And then you have Werner, the inside linebacker, stemming inside. So it looks like they are trying to isolate Morgan Moses. 94 rips off of him. Pretty bad loss there, if you ask me. Lamar escapes a sack that should have been a sack, clearly, and then Morgan Moses runs into him. So, yeah, that looks pretty much a mess. The body control here. And the trust. I don't know that he throws that to every receiver on our roster. Beautiful play by that young man. I mean, DeSean Jackson making himself available for it. Yeah, you'd like to say, hey, let's see you elevate and go get it. But, he was open, back here, 12, 15, 18 yards back here. He was open by 3 yards, and he knew he was. So good recovery by the rookie. I think that's a rookie. At least I damn sure hope it is. To get back there and deny the play. But the point of our analysis as Ravens fans is DeSean Jackson made himself available to get the ball from Lamar. And Lamar did throw it, delivered it. It's a catchable ball. Guy made a great play. And just a unique talent that we have there at quarterback. I've been critical of certain throws in the last 2 or 3 weeks, but that one right there is special. There's not too many guys that I've seen play quarterback who can do that. This is I'm going to show you this play and then one from the Bengals game. I believe these are related concepts, even though this looks like an RPO. This play did not count, but it could have been a 21 or 22-yard catch to DeSean Jackson up the right sideline. They're zoning this off. They'll say cover 2. He finds the soft spot in the zone. I really like this play. I want to see this play more often. So you got Prochet in motion. Typically, you'd get a wheel and then something, here. Sometimes it'd be a post. Now, we don't run this concept to snag with the wheel. If we run the snag, then we're usually just running this out in the flats. So we do have multiple route concepts off of this motion. We're leaving the D-end unblocked, and Isaiah Likely is slipping out into the flats. So let's let this run, and you guys see the distribution of it. You can see Likely going out in the flats, and then we've got 2 guys running near the bottom of the numbers. Why is that? Well, because Prochet isn't running a wheel. Prochet's bringing this thing back inside, and DeSean Jackson is running it up the sideline. There is no way for the safety to play both of these. There's just not. There's no way for him to play both. This linebacker is expanding with the out route by Likely, and you would love to see us come back to this at some point and throw this in behind to Prochet. Great ball by Lamar. Strong throw. Great catch. It looks like a good catch to me. And the thing about Lamar's throw here is it's a pump fake. Pump fakes once to Likely. To actually twice a second time. Wow. I didn't see that until just now. And then completes it to DeSean Jackson. Yeah, we're downfield, as an offensive lineman. It's Morgan Moses. I love the play. I don't know if you like it as much as I do because, it does look like a read. The problem with it being called a read is, come on, how many times do we run behind James Prochet in motion? Who's not on the field here? Ricard. We've got to run this concept with Ricard on the field. I'm not saying Ricard should run this route. But Ricard can run this route. out into the flats, and we've done that many times. Look at the Vikings home game last year. Look at the Tennessee playoff game on the road in Tennessee. I'm talking 2020. Ricard in motion, running out into the flats. So we can run this concept. The problem is, in order to run this concept, this guy is going to have to somehow get into this space here. So I'm going to show you what I believe is essentially the same concept, even though it's not an RPO, against the Bengals. Talking about the play where Lamar and Tylan Wallace are unable to connect. Now the back is on the right. He's not in the pistol. And the number 2 receiver is not attached to the right tackle. He's not a slot. I mean, technically he is in the slot. He's not a twin. And you get Mark Andrews in motion. Now, as this, we're going to go back to the other play. We're going to reflect on it. Look at the triangulated relationship. It's not a triangle read because you're getting a vertical here. In the previous play that I just showed you, this is DeSean Jackson's route. Although it's there's some slight differences. All right, I think DeSean Jackson's split was a little tighter, and it kind of looked like that. But we'll see it back in a moment because I'm going to show you again. This route here by Oliver is Prochet's route. It ends up in the same area. The final distribution of it looks similar. Remember, Prochet goes out in motion, makes it look like a wheel, and then he turns it back inside. So he ends up in the same area. That's when I talk about final distribution. Conceptually, this is the same play. We don't make the connection. The only difference is they're not playing cover 2, they being the Bengals. Remember that corner for the Saints sat here and the safety sat off. You had DeSean Jackson and Prochet running in the same area at the bottom of the numbers. We'll show it again in a moment. Prochet breaks his off. DeSean takes his out to the sideline. It almost looks like our staff liked this play. We understood, okay, Lamar, Tylan Wallace, they didn't connect. Whatever, who cares? But it looks like our staff said, hey, Lamar executes this very well. We've got the option out in the flats. In this case, we got Oliver, running onto the top of the numbers, the curl area, and then the vertical. I love it. I love the play. I love the concept. Yeah, we didn't make the connection here, so what? That we're past that. That was week 5, right? Or maybe week 7, something like that. At this point, I don't even remember. Point is, this is something we can execute in terms of someone going out into the flats. This case, it's Andrews. On a play I'm getting ready to go back to, it was likely. Someone ending up, around in this area. Now, Oliver doesn't end up there because, he's running it from an inside position near the hash, a compressed alignment, and so he's going toward the sideline. The play I'm going to show you in a moment, Prochet is in motion, ends up outside of DeSean Jackson, I believe, and then brings his route back into the middle. Conceptually, I think this is the same thing. I think we're going to see it again. I think it's threatening as hell to defenses. Why? Because Lamar can run the ball so well. To me, the problem is the Ricard factor. You cannot run this only when Ricard is not on the field. You got to run it when Ricard is on the field, or you've got to run some more run plays when Ricard isn't on the field. Hopefully I said both of those things properly in a way that makes sense. So normally if Ricard's on the field and we're going to run the ball to this side, he's going to be in motion like Prochet is, and he's going to block. Kick out the end. He's going to go here and then pass pro. Sometimes he'll run out into the flats. So I would like to see us run this play. And this is going to sound crazy. Put Ricard where likely is. Have Ricard slip out into the flats. He probably won't be covered. He certainly isn't going to gain a whole hell of a lot of yards after catch. No problem. He still gets 6 to 8 yards. And we can still threaten with Prochet in motion, maybe bringing it back in here, and D-Jax or whoever running here. I think this is a way to get our guys open, make them a little more dangerous while using the run game, whether Ricard is on the field or not. Hopefully I described that in a way that makes sense. I mean, I don't want to see us only do this with Ricard in motion and then sit and block the edge. The key element here, in my opinion, is that we threaten with 3 receivers to our right. I talk about numbers a lot. You got 1, which is likely out in the flats, 2, which is Prochet, kind of bringing this in there, and D-Jax, 3 up the sideline, and then you have the running back, which is 4. Backside, you've got 1. At some point, the backside safety's got to get involved, of course. That's the whole point of a talented ex-receiver, right? And that's why we drafted Rashad Bateman, and that's why we all, are so disappointed with the way things worked out for him injury-wise, because he is that guy who can keep defenses honest on the backside. I'm real interested in this play concept. I'm real interested in how DeSean Jackson does. Am I saying that I think he's going to replace the production of some of our other guys? No. No. But if he can play 20, 22 snaps a game, maybe 25 at some points, give us some of these threatening plays that I just showed you here. He only played 11 snaps, and I showed you 2 times on a deep comeback when he was available to the football. I showed you the RPO here, him making a catch up the right sideline, which we know was callback for Morgan Moses being downfield. Then the play that Lamar, has pressure because Moses is beat, and then Moses runs into him. Lamar keeps it, unleashes a rocket down the right sideline. To me, that's 4 instances in 11 snaps where DeSean Jackson was dangerous, where he threatened the defense. I'm not saying threatened to take it to the house, but I'll take a 20-yard catch on a deep comeback. Will you? Then the first time where it's the same route and he doesn't get the ball thrown for whatever reason, Lamar's, maybe he's trying to hit Likely or Oliver on a drag, no, not drag, like an in route. Then these last 2 that I just showed you, I feel like your man can play. I do. Can he play 30, 35 snaps a game? Probably not. Some people would, if you're pessimistic, you say, man, he couldn't even play 11 plays. But again, I suspect that he would have stayed in the game if we weren't having so much success running the ball. And I also think Demarcus Robinson being healthy enough to go all game had a factor there too. If Demarcus Robinson was out, or maybe he couldn't go after 2 series, I wonder if DeSean Jackson would have stayed in the game. Let me know what you think of my thoughts overall about how he played. I'm not whether you think I'm overestimating 4 out of 11 snaps, him being threatening in terms of catching the ball 16, 18, 20 yards downfield or more. I feel like that's a pretty good ratio. And then let me know if you like that last play I showed you as much as I do. It's the same concept in a lot of ways, just different personnel groups, as the 4th and 3 failed pass to Tylan Wallace up the right sideline against the Bengals at home. Appreciate you guys' time. Let me know what you think of the video in the comment section.